K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
Wondering why you're up early with us on a Sunday morning making a cocktail? News lately got you drinking? Hung over from the mainstream media by Sunday? We are, and we got you covered.
We sure do. We got your hangover cure for those weekly news blues. So sit back, top off your mimosa, and add some Baileys to that coffee.
Take a match to your copy of the New York Times. Light, funny, and oh yeah, news with booze.
And a lot of laughter.
Welcome to Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. And a very good, easy Sunday morning, November 22nd, 2015, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means it's time for JD and Stacey for Bloody Marys and Broadsheets on that K98 Talk. To our very good friend, Dr. Randy Arrington, who is in the chat room this morning, may I personally say, blow it out your ass, pal. As somebody who feels like garbage and is not a morning person, do not be telling me what I need to bring when and where to my own show. That's right, kids. Welcome back to all our political freaks, geeks, and back alley sneaks. Everybody within the sound of my voice, you know what to do right now. You get over to that K98talk.org. You get up to those people who are still up from last night, the ones who got up early this morning, the drunkest, nakedest, most fun listening radio audience in the business. Say hello to Stacey. Set that Dr. A right. Tell him not to be telling that JD to have to do things on that Sunday morning, baby. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
I have a hard time telling him to get on the air. So.
Ugh, this guy, and to do this. Let me tell you something, fella. You flew planes. Okay, Meshuggah.
Meshuggah?
All right. For those
Seriously?
Of you, I want to thank
We're
everybody.
going all Yiddish?
I want to thank everybody for hanging in with me this morning. JD's feeling about 57 shades of just gray and not so well, but we're going to get through to the 12 o'clock hour. Today we're going to be talking about the Obamacare debt spiral. I don't know what's going to die first, me or Obamacare. One of them, I don't know. The Syrian refugee crisis and a whole bunch of things. What were we doing in segment 3?
Oh my God, there's so much I can't even remember it all.
We got Ben Stiller's getting in trouble for
Ben Stiller's getting in trouble for making fun of people.
Weekend update from that Mr. Eric Williams at barbwiresatire.com, baby. Remember, guys, we're not just here live Sunday morning, 11 a.m. on K98 Talk. We do it again Tuesday, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Game On. We're live. We got our lead in Thursday nights, the newest show here over in K98 Talk. That is that Bell River for whom the bell tolls. You get over, you watch all these shows. You listen to all these shows live at that K98Talk.org. And then on Fridays, 5 p.m. drive time, you catch Stacey and I leading into that Yahoo Sports over that WNJC 1360 AM, serving that South Philadelphia, born and raised. Oh, my God, it's going to be an episode of The Fresh Prince.
Oh, dear Lord.
Spreaker.com. I have nothing written down today. Hashtag JD and Stacey. Where Flipside Show. Loftus, if you're listening, this is what a train wreck sounds like.
Oh, but train wreck radio beats free education radio, so let's do it.
Okay, terrific.
Free education radio. You know, I'm trying not to flip back and forth on Sundays between as many of the soundboards, but then I realized I have gotten so lazy. I have gotten just so lazy. I didn't even have my own inappropriate bell on the Sunday board, so we're going to move that over so that.
Well, because you might need it.
Shut up! Will you stop telling me?
If I mention the tents in Mecca again, all could go straight out the window.
Oh, my God. Anybody who missed Thursday night show, JD drops 5 hits of ecstasy. Gets
Lottie, we like the party.
How can I forget? How can I forget? Today,
I'll
kids,
look like that. JD might become a serial refugee.
one more time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. They gotta, come on. Don't be LSU and drop 3
bored.
in a row. Good God. Oh, good morning, darling.
Good morning.
This is what is he? Hold on a second. Ben Stiller merely told the truth. You know what, Dr. A, you need a Avi where you're smiling. I feel like you're one of the old Muppets.
I know. He looks like the mean guy.
No, he looks like one of the old Muppets in the balcony. You know what the best part about this show is? What? It ends.
No, that was his serious, and it's not a blimp. It's something else. It begins with an A, but I don't remember what he told me. That was his serious TV appearance when the military let a blimp go berserk over his toast.
So Dr. Randy Arrington. All right. So by the way, you have got to listen to Dr. Ray and Lou. They live today 3 p.m. Right? Sundays 3 p.m.
That's correct.
Okay. They're also going up on that JC 1360. I think it might be Mondays around 5. Dr. A, brilliant. Lou is the best. But, all right, so CNN, when the Malaysian plane disappeared, right, they got ratings out the wazoo. But then there was no more missing Malaysian plane. So then the Zeppelin got, disconnected from the military thing, and it went, and they got Dr. A. They got Dr. A. Dr. A is the CNN Zeppelin guy. So all of you remember the Christmas Story where the little kid Randy was sitting around and he opens the present, whoopee, a Zeppelin, mine. We do that every time Dr. A has a missing Zeppelin. So pray for missing Zeppelin so Dr. A can feed that family, baby.
Oh, dear.
Hold on, this guy's never going to talk to me again. Hold on.
I know, never.
I got to reset.
He doesn't understand you only do that to people you really, really like.
Oh, absolutely. Hold on a second. I have to reset the little radio little man.
If JD doesn't like you, he doesn't talk about you.
Hold on a second. Right now I'm looking schmeckles. Hold on one second. Oh, God. Only 52 minutes left to go.
Oh, is this going to be one of those shows where you do a countdown till it's over?
No, I started that about 3 months ago.
Only on Sundays.
Oh, but we do. I do recommend everybody go over to Thursday Night Show, hashtag JD and Stacey over at Spreaker.com. We had a really good breakdown of ISIS. I know a lot of people said that it was really informative, and we have a lot of fun at the end just completely losing it because Hillary Clinton has robot cats. Dr. A is always smiling on the nice side.
Because there's an annual rave at Mecca and 3 million air-conditioned tents.
He's not a blimp expert. Randy, I'm breaking your balls. For God's sake. I'm just kidding. Jesus God, he's going to get a fighter bomber and come nuke the Northeast studios.
Yeah, I know. You're in trouble now, dude.
Good God. But I'll tell you what, back in his heyday, he was a lady killer. We have some audio of Dr. A as a young lieutenant.
Hey, where are the white women at?
He killed him.
Oh, no. Forgive JD. He took a lot of cold medicine this morning.
Oh, my God. Whoever let me have a radio show. All right, baby. The week's been bad enough. Week's been bad enough. We're going to bring to you right now that weekend update for the weekend of November 22nd, 2015, brought to you by Mr. Eric Williams of that barbwiresatire.com, baby. When the sound effects don't play, baby. Be a 4-hour show today, baby. After the Paris attacks, more states are rejecting Obama's plan to accept Syrian refugees. Governors not willing to take the refugees are advising Obama that if he insists on bringing them in, he can stick those Syrian refugees up his... Ooh, that was mean, Eric.
Dianne Feinstein contradicted the president's remark that ISIS is contained, saying instead that the group was expanding. The contradiction would have made Obama look like an idiot if he weren't already one.
Oh, good. These must be the warm-ups. Let's get to the good ones. Reports say that Russian President Putin has now decided that Syria's Assad must go. While Assad finds Obama's threats against him amusing, the Putin news has caused Assad to suddenly develop a clear case of incontinence. Good. Diarrhea jokes on a Sunday morning. That while everybody's in church. Good for us. We are
President Obama
show.
doubled down on his strategy of military paralysis against the terrorist groups this week. He said launching more attacks against the enemy would only serve as a recruiting tool for Republicans.
Obama's White House is refusing to let governors know where they later settle. But we're going to try this again. Obama's White House is refusing to let governors know where they plan to settle Syrian refugees. God, I can't get through this. Instead, the president says he intends to scatter the refugees, wait for them to launch terrorist attacks, and then sit back and watch authorities play whack-a-mole.
Obama and Hillary tried to sound serious about fighting terrorist groups this week. They each said they had the best way to defeat their enemies. Then they both declared jihad on Republicans and conservatives.
I see a Whoopi Goldberg joke. This has got promise. Vaunted World War II historian Whoopi Goldberg said on The View that Hitler was a Christian. In her attempt to impugn Christians, Whoopi educated the audience on Hitler history. Like when the tyrant bit down on a cyanide pill that killed him, he thought he was really putting a communion wafer in his mouth. I have to go to church after this. Jesus.
Obama is claiming that his Syrian refugee vetting process is already stringent enough. Refugees will be asked one question. Do you plan to vote Democrat? Answering yes will get them welcomed in and showered with government entitlements. Answer no, and they will be immediately targeted by the IRS.
Michael Moore, in defiance of Michigan's governor not wanting to accept any Syrian refugees in his home state, said he will accept refugees in his own home anyway. However, the vast majority of refugees have already declined Moore's offer, saying their religion forbids them from living with a pig. That's what you call finishing strong. And that is your weekend update for November 22nd, 2015, brought to you by Mr. Eric Williams of that barbwiresatire.com, baby. That is not what I was looking for. 48 minutes left to go.
And there's a reason you don't use the soundboard a lot on Sundays.
Oh, my God.
You have severely impaired soundboard abilities on Sundays.
Right. You add that to the fact.
I'm waiting for the game on bumper. I'm waiting.
It'll come out. I don't even know what.
I know. It's almost like a...
I don't even know what brought on me. But I do want to thank everybody for bearing with me. I have been feeling like absolutely...
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
Okay, so after that nonsense, let's roll into the death knell of Obamacare. Everybody's been hearing about it. Everybody's been saying it. But I will tell you something, Stacey. You know, you hear generic platitudes out there. And for those of you who are interested, to my mind, and of course for this particular segment, I don't have any of her articles. But since the inception, and even before that, of Obamacare, when it was being not debated but shoved down our throats in secret, Megan McArdle over at Bloomberg News has done some of the best, most in-depth and explanatory writing on Obamacare, along with Byron York. And it's so funny because Byron York and Megan McArdle have never stopped talking about this law and how it will not work. And it's funny, to my mind, in a year right now, in an election cycle where Republicans should have the upper hand politically, you have not heard the candidates really ringing this. You and I speak sometimes, and we want to be honest with the audience, and no matter who your candidate is, there are no vaunted saints out there, because I don't hear enough people really ripping this apart and saying they're going to repeal every word of this. But from what you and I have seen with this news this week, Stacey, that might actually be a winning strategy for the first candidate who decides to really grab hold of it, no?
Well, I mean, clearly the most vocal one about Obamacare for several years now has been Ted Cruz. He does say he will repeal and replace every word of Obamacare. I think he has the strongest position, and Carly Fiorina has been very clear about replacing Obamacare with, something that is, oh my God, why wouldn't we try this? A free market alternative.
We have.
And Ben Carson has put his own thoughts and plans out there, and honestly, I kind of like his the best because it spends less money and actually gives people more care. So go figure.
That is not why you like it the best.
Huh?
Do you know why you like Ben Carson's plan the best?
Why?
Because you just wanted to hear. I would like to thank all the people in the world today and the children and talk about my health plan.
Well, no, but in reality, if you listen to his plan with Medicaid spending and the actual dollars and how they could be reallocated to take care of some of those who don't have access to employer-based plans, I think some of his ideas are really, really good. Nobody else is talking about these concierge doctors that don't take insurance. You pay in. There's other alternatives out there that we definitely need to take a look at. The primary problem with Obamacare is really twofold. Number one, it continues to insure people and remove them from the cost of their health care, so that all of these subsidies are doing what HMOs did, in the late 80s and early 90s. All you got to do is pay $20 for something, you're not going to look for A, the best service, or B, the best cost.
No, absolutely.
And that's really what insurance in general has done to consumers of healthcare forever. We do more research on our cars than our doctors.
Right, but whether it was the Cornhusker kid, when there has never been, and this is a bold statement because we're talking about Washington, D.C. and the United States federal government. There has never in the history of mankind been a bigger piece of crony capitalist legislation than the Affordable Care Act. There just has not been. I want you to think about going back to budget reconciliation, the way this was passed mechanically as a farce with 51 votes, even to get to that metric. You had the Cornhusker kickback. You had the Louisiana Purchase. You had an on and on and on. You had what was essentially the death knell of what was considered blue dog and moderate Democrats in both the House and the Senate. And this administration was okay with it because they didn't care. Do you want to know why? Because they stood up what was called risk corridors, and they took these private companies, these private insurers, who are just as bad as the government on this one, and they pulled them in, and this quasi-socialist administration took these private companies and they had them made a deal with the devil. And they said, listen to us, we're going to have these risk pools and corridors where you're going to be on the back end and you're going to be subsidized. And we're going to pay billions of dollars in marketing, and on and on and on and on and on. And then you take
they couldn't even develop a website.
Then you take the largest company in the network, the largest insurer in the country, United Healthcare. United Healthcare, which was complicit in this because just as we were saying when this was happening, they took the money and ran. Why? Because at a shareholder meeting Thursday, United Healthcare cast doubt on its ability to carry plans on the healthcare laws exchanges beyond 2016, offering a more grim financial outlook than had previously expected. From the company's CEO, in recent weeks, growth expectations for individual exchange participation have tempered industry-wise. Do you know what that means when a CEO says that on an earnings call? It means because of certain legalities, I can't say it right now, but we are so far gone out of this, you have no idea. Do you want to know why? Because my job is to run a public company, and I have a fiduciary responsibility to my shareholders. And what has happened in the last quarter? A $425 million loss to one single company in these exchanges, representing 26 cents a share to the share price of one of the biggest health providers in the country.
But I mean, if you take a look at it, it's already bankrupted the not-for-profits that tried to do it. I think there's more than a dozen that have just folded. So you take United Healthcare out of the mix in 2017. One of the things this was supposed to do that it really didn't do because we still had all these things confined by state was create, competition in the market. You just took the biggest dog out of the pool. So I mean, when you look at the double-digit increases that were requested nationwide, when you look at what some of the state insurance commissioners did, said, nope, you can't have that, Blue Cross Blue Shield is going to lose money. Cigna is going to lose money. Anybody that is in this right now is going to lose money simply because the vast majority, apparently, of our Congress doesn't even understand how insurance works.
No, but
if you're going to insure a population of people, you have to have the risk within that population spread. And the major flaw of Obamacare has been and will continue to be that the young and the healthy do not enroll. Until the cost of not enrolling is greater than the cost of enrolling, they're not going to.
The thing with but nobody. I mean, to be fair, nobody understands insurance by the insurers. For those of you who are interested, few of half of the original 23 co-ops that were founded for the exchange are still up and running, and 12 or 13 new startup insurers for this nonsense actually folded within the past month. The best writing on this I saw was Ed Morrissey in Hot Air and Byron York in the Washington Examiner. Both those articles out within the last 24 to 48 hours. I recommend you check it out, and honestly, guys, this goes back to the politics of it. Our people have got to learn to seize onto moments like this. And just one nice little piece of info before we punch out. ABC, NBC, and all the Spanish networks, Telemundo and Univision, had nothing to say about this story on Friday. CBS ran 46 seconds. So if you don't think it's a conspiracy, then your tinfoil hat isn't on tight enough. We're going to have Michael Topia. That's right, Michael Loftus of the Flipside Show. Take us out to the break, baby. Get over to flipsideshow.com. JD and Stacey here on K98. Bloody Marys and Broadsheets coming back in about 4 minutes.
This is America, last time I checked, and you can choose to live wherever you want to live. You can live in reality, where it's wild and insanity happens, or you can be like me and live in my brain, where things make sense. Yeah, it's a little place I like to call Michaeltopia. Join me, won't you? There are no human locusts in Michaeltopia. What I mean by that is this. States like Texas are getting flooded with Californians that voted Democrat their whole lives and destroyed it, right? They tried to make the taxes so high that people had to leave, and then they went to Texas and they kept voting Democrat. Swarms of locusts with hipster beards and vape pens saying stuff like, I don't know, bro. Bernie Sanders is really starting to make a lot of sense to me, man. No, he's not. Now shut up and get out of Texas. If you are looking for a place to live, let me suggest the democratic utopia of Detroit, you smelly, smelly hippie. I went John Oliver on the end of that one. It's available at theflipsideshow.com. And in Michaeltopia, you follow us on Twitter, you follow us on Facebook, and we're all friends and we all get along. There you go. That is a fantastic thing. All right. That's all the time we have for the show. Thank you so much for coming out.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
The staff of K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network is proud to announce that our very own Rowdy Rick Robinson has been selected as one of the top conservative talk show hosts in the nation for his program America Off the Rails. Again, congratulations to Rowdy Rick Robinson for a job well done and another reason to stay connected to K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear a Barack Obama speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
From the Vikings of Norway to my home down south to Washington, D.C., I've been around. I've seen it all, and I've come out on top. You better beware, for all you know, the bell tolls for you. Enter the bell tower or watch your step. 8 p.m. Thursdays, K98 Talk.
K98Talk.com, a leader in Internet radio. So grab your seatbelts and take the ride of your life on K98Talk.com.
Welcome back, JD and Stacey on Bloody Marys on Broadsheets. Your cure for that mainstream media hangover on that K98 Talk. Everybody, you know what to do. Get over to K98Talk.org right now. Get in that chat room. Say hello to the most interactive, smartest, drunkest, LSD taking is drunkest in the morning radio listening audience in the business. We want to thank our Thursday lead-in here at Bell River for whom the bell tolls. Remember, guys, we're not just here live Sunday, 11 a.m. for that Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. We do it again Tuesday and Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Stacey and I are live at Game On. Fridays, we do again, 5 p.m. WN, JC, South Jersey, Philadelphia, Northern Delaware for that 4.2 million listeners on that drive time leading into that Yahoo Sports. And remember, find a catalog of everything we've done here with that Ricky Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson on that K98 Talk over at Spreaker.com. Hashtag JD and Stacey, ANDSTACEOY. And we are back. You know what? I think we're gonna try and drop one of those Loftus flip sides, maybe one a show. So maybe we get about 3 of those going a week and break them down. Vote in the chat room. Who likes the Michael Topia flip side pieces? What do you think?
There's a 15-second delay, so watch in a few.
Never took acid, JD. Weed. I didn't inhale more than 5,000 times. Okay. All right. So for those of you who don't think the chat room's a good time, it's Sunday morning at 11:27, okay? Forget about what Keyshawn Johnson and Berman are talking about on ESPN. I'm just going to read this out of the chat room. Never took acid, JD. Weed, I didn't inhale more than 5,000 times. The next one, I do. Flip side.
It's called out of context chat.
No, it's called Sunday, 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. One more time. And for those
Only you could make me look forward to the end of football season.
Oh, you love me. Well, you know what Stacey and I do at the end of every football season. Every football season, day after the Super Bowl. This is what we do.
Why do we do that?
We hang midgets off of trees and beat them with bats pretending they're piñatas. Why don't you tell people?
I don't even understand where that came from.
Me neither. It's the cold medicine.
I have no midget hate. That's you.
I don't know. No. It has nothing to do with hate. It's more like it's fascination. Okay. Talking about fascination, who we cannot get away from.
Oh, durka.
Who want what? And why do they want to do that, Scott Joe?
Virgin.
That's right. So basically...
Well, and it also causes like a complete disturbance in the force because I find myself watching Bill Maher and agreeing with him.
You know what's funny? We're gonna take that Bill Maher clip. We're gonna break it down a little bit. I want to take it at least 2 minutes deep because I can't remember her name. Her name is Christian. Christian. She used to be with the Christian
dummy
Science.
in purple.
Yeah, she used to be with the Christian Science Monitor. I'm not sure if she's with Bloomberg now. I'll get her name.
She's Canadian.
No, it's very important. That clip, when you sent it to me, I had no idea it was going to run at what she said at the 2-minute mark, delves into something that I found researching this story that I honestly hadn't heard before, and it literally terrifies me. Literally terrifies me. We'll get to that in a minute. What we're actually talking about here is what you've been hearing referred to as the Syrian refugee crisis. What is the Syrian What is the refugee crisis? Is the refugee crisis that Wyclef Jean can't sell out anything bigger than the Olive Garden anymore? No. The Syrian refugee crisis is a direct result of a 4-year-old civil war in the country of Syria, ruled by the Assad family, son of the former dictator, Bashar al-Assad is in there. Now, you know the guy, Obama, red line, this guy can't go, going to kick his ass. Yeah, him. So for the last 4 years, he's been brutally repressing his people in a vicious civil war. Some statistics I pulled here from World Vision, which is a humanitarian organization. In the last 4 years of the Syrian civil war, 12 million Syrians have been forced from their homes because of the conflict. 4 million Syrians are refugees. Most are in Turkey, Lebanon, and Jordan. More than 700,000 refugees have risked their life just this year traveling across Europe. More than 3,200 of them have lost their lives this year. I think they said about half of those. Oh, here it is. Since the civil war began, more than 240,000 people have been killed, including 12,000 children. 1 million more have been wounded or permanently disabled. One of the things that jumped out at me, at least how World Vision, this humanitarian, and you can go check them out at worldvision.org. It's not an endorsement. It's just where I happen to pull up this piece of information. The way that they're explaining it here, I haven't heard it put in these terms yet. The Syria crisis is affecting some 12 million displaced people. If you put that in context of recent world events, only 3.5 million were affected in the Haiti earthquake, 1.7 million affected in Katrina, and 5 million during the Indian Ocean tsunami. So if you add that all up, you actually have more people displaced in the Syria civil war in the last 4 years than of those three, which were really major earth-shattering events. Stacey, did you want to speak a little bit about the surprise you had about what you were hearing on this Bill Maher panel, and we can lead into that?
Well, I mean, I don't think that it was a surprise to hear Bill Maher talking very plainly and taking up some degree of debate about radical Islam. I mean, of all the liberal pundits I have seen and heard, he's the one who is, in my mind, getting this right. He doesn't put out a lot of necessarily anti-Muslim feeling, but what he does do, not do ever, is link jihad to radical Islam. He makes that link, and he makes it very clearly. And, you know, I think what he's looking for is debate about what the right course of action is. And he's also been a huge supporter of folks who have been victims of Muslim terrorism or Sharia law. You know, young women who have left the religion, now considered apostate, coming on his show, who were victims of genital mutilation, who were victims of honor violence, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, he calls out what's wrong with Sharia law and how it does not match with our values, and really challenges the liberals on the panel to prove he's wrong.
And if you know anything of Bill Maher and his beliefs, he basically, if you believe him from where he comes from, he is, you know, for those of you who really want to delve into libertarianism, it's a very broad spectrum. And he sees himself coming from the pretty left end of the libertarian spectrum. And if you listen to him a lot of times, you know, look, first of all, the guy's a comedian, so I don't like getting on comics for what they say. His job is to make people laugh. I happen to think the guy is funny. But he does say smarmy, detestable things about conservatives, and you can tell he thinks that a lot of us are knuckle-draggers because of what we believe. But one thing I like about Maher really has, starting with Ben Affleck, who threw it up in his face like he was a racist, has really been one of the few people on the left side of any spectrum to say, hey, man, listen, everybody grab a hold of themselves and let's not enter into a suicide pact because of political correctness and progressivism. These people are animals. They do not play well and get along with others. They actually have to be eradicated and defeated. And for those of you who know Mars politics and how supportive he's been of this president and administration, I think the best way to play this is I'm going to play Obama basically trolling Republicans saying they're afraid of 3-year-old orphans, and then I want you to hear Bill Maher, who is one of his biggest and staunchest supporters. So this is Obama about 4 days ago, maybe 3.
We're welcome. We're open to hearing actual ideas, but that's not really what's been going on in this debate. When candidates say we wouldn't admit 3-year-old orphans, that's political posturing. When individuals say that we should have a religious test and that only Christians, proven Christians, should be admitted, that's offensive.
He's such an angry
to
bastard,
American
isn't
values. I cannot think of a more potent recruitment tool for ISIL than some of the rhetoric that's been coming out of here during the course of this debate.
All right, that's enough of this idiot. I mean, he is honestly tougher on Republicans than he is on ISIS. This was, Stacey, do you know, was this from his show this week?
Bill Maher?
Yeah, the panel?
I believe so.
All
yes.
right,
it came out on the Blaze like 2 days ago.
Okay, this is a cut from the Maher panel. It speaks for itself.
On TV, 56% of Americans believe that the Syrian refugees have odds that are at values their values are at odds with our values. That may not be wrong. If you are in this religion, you probably do have values that are at odds. This is what liberals don't want to recognize. You may be from a country, as there are many, many Muslim countries that either have Sharia law or want Sharia law. Those values are not our values. Can I read what David Cameron said? He's the Prime Minister of Britain, as we know. He said, the root cause of the threat we face is the extremist ideology itself. Let's not forget our strongest weapon, our own liberal values. We believe in respecting different faiths, but also expecting these faiths to support the British way of life. Too often we have lacked the confidence to enforce our values for fear of causing offense. And then he talks about the horrors of forced marriage. He talks about how the utter brutality of female genital mutilation is too common in his country, nearly 4,000 cases, and that's just the reported cases, 11,000 cases of honor-based violence. I'm not saying this is going to happen in America, but this idea that somehow we do share values, that all religions are alike, is bullshit. And we need to call it
I actually strongly disagree with that, Bill. I think that it is incredibly important, particularly now after the Paris attacks, particularly now with ISIL raging around the world, to stand up for real diversity and to say our diversity is our strength.
So keeping women as second-class citizens is just diversity?
I'm not saying that.
But you are saying
no, I'm
that's
not.
what it comes down to.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is we in
ways.
Canada are not going...
Okay, good. I wanted to stop it right there, where she said, we in Canada are not going to, blah, 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 be scared off of the Syrian refugee crisis. Yahoo News. Canada to fly in 9... Now, I want you to think about how much we rail about the southern border and how porous it is. The northern border is an absolute joke, and you can walk across. It's how all the ecstasy came into this country in the 90s and early 2000s. You want to know why? Because we don't have an immigration problem streaming over the northern Canadian border, which means it's our most open, expansive border. Canada plans to fly in 900 Syrian refugees a day, as of next month, according to media reports. As their defense minister said, showing compassion for these people sends a message to Islamic State extremists. Canadian officials said details of a plan to take in 25,000 Syrian refugees by year's end would be announced Tuesday. Our president and John Kerry are lost in a fantasy land, along with Defense Minister Harjit Sajjan of Canada. What this man said is, this crisis is not just about a humanitarian project. This also sends a great message to ISIS that you might create this environment, but we will not let you take advantage of this. We are actually hitting ISIS in a different way as well. Stacey, you can't make this up. It actually doesn't matter if Obama gets 10,000 in. because the Canadians are going to be flying in 900 a day. 2 minutes.
It's that clip with Mayor. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it, because that woman from Canada, and I think at the end of that video, Bill Mayer really, brings it down to a point. The left is using compassion to shut down debate about security. It's really that simple. I think Bill had a great point. Their values do not match our values. And they went through a lot of statistics in terms of the percentage of various largely Muslim populations that support ISIS and their goals. It's 20% in some countries. I believe Syria is one of those countries. 20% is way too many. People are posting that, only 20%. Only 20%? That's a huge number. You can't vet these people appropriately. You can't assure us that the refugee pipeline is not also being used as a pipeline for terrorists. In fact, they've said that it is. ISIS has said it. When ISIS says something, maybe we should start actually listening to them, because they're not really lying. They pretty much do what they say they're going to do.
The only poll that anybody needs to read is in an NBC News story on NBCnews.com. You know what the title of it is? Earlier Arab immigrants also wary of Syrian refugees. Yep. You think we don't think these people represent our values? Neither do their own people. They're not rolling out the welcome wagon for the Syrian refugees in the Arab immigrant enclave of Dearborn, Michigan, the article goes on. Quote, "We do not need no more troubles, unquote, said Hikam Dawil, who immigrated to the U.S. 3 decades ago. I feel bad for the people. On the other hand, look what's happening in France. This is crazy, It's just evil." Dawil, a father of 5 college kids, all born here, runs his own heating and cooling business, said the ISIS attacks turned his stomach, and the fallout effects affect him in the Arab community. Quote, we just cannot afford to be looked at like, you are one of them, he said. Here. He supports Snyder's move to block... Now, this is a Syrian by 100%. Quote, "It's a great idea because we have a bunch of refugees coming from overseas. We don't know what they're about yet. We don't know what they're bringing with them. We don't know what liability is going to be on us after they get here. So I think the decision they came up with was the best decision, because at least it gives us time to assess the situation." And that was a Syrian in Dearborn, Michigan. Go to this article, NBCnews.com. Their own people don't want him here, kids. Their own people do not want him here. You want to know why? Because they fled that area of the world for a reason, and they know you cannot take them here en masse. But what you can do, baby, is you can go top off that drink, top off that stink, hop off whatever help makes you think. JD and Stacey coming back, taking you in the 12 o'clock hour with a little fun nonsense in the world. Diamond Dave, take us out, baby.
One break coming up.
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes in... listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works. President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before. Did someone say green? Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind? Now, do you say good things about me on the show? No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much. The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation. Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo? I got a pen. I can veto that, I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it. Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either. That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Welcome back to all our political geeks, freaks, and back alley sneaks. JD and Stacey here on K98. Bloody Marys and Broadsheets taking you into the noon o'clock hour here on K98 Talk. Everybody right now, get over to K98Talk.org. Get in that chat room. Listen to all our great listeners in the chat room. Listening to our chat moderator tell people that she's actually out on Twitter playing around. It's one of them great radio mysteries. She's smacking a Trumo, according to the last thing I saw. I saw in there. Remember, guys, we're not just here live at 11 a.m.
That was a keyboard mistake.
No, so you weren't on Twitter smashing a Trumpkin?
No, I was on Twitter smashing a Trumpkin.
That's so. Every once in a while, when she doesn't answer, folks, that's where she is, on the Twitters. Remember, guys,
I did it during the break.
Sunday, 11 a.m. We're live. Thursday, Tuesday, 3. What the hell time are we? 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Game On. We're live Friday, 5 p.m. Drive Time, WNJC 1360 a.m. That's Southern New Jersey, Philadelphia, Northern Delaware for that 4.2 million listeners. And as always, kids, you can get over to Spreaker.com, hashtag JD and Stacey. Find out a catalog of everything we've been doing here. And you never shut off that K98 Talk. Why? Live, 3 p.m. today. Office hours with Dr. A in that Bell River, Miss Lou, right? 3 p.m. live on that office hours?
I believe so.
What are you talking about today, Doctor?
What am I doing?
No, the doctor.
Oh.
We'll give him a little promo. I mean, he's hanging out in the chat room, 3 hours before his show starts? Or did he say he's following us
They're
today?
talking about the presidential paradox.
Are they following us today, or what are they doing? 3 p.m.? Anyway. All right, before we go into some of the nonsense, there is maybe a little something to be heartened about. I don't think any of this will come to fruition for us by 2016, but something that did jump out at me was Speaker Ryan, who I have got to tell you something. I am prepared to take everything with a grain of salt. Did not think he was the bastion of conservatism coming to the House, but I have got to tell you something. This past week, he did something that I do not remember John Boehner doing. If he has done it, I can't remember the last time he did it. And it was actually seizing a political moment. The House voted Thursday, 289 to 137, basically to have a security test. It kind of slows down the entrance of the Syrian refugees. The problem for the Obama administration is 50 Democrats voted with them to make it veto-proof in the House. And Paul Ryan took it right to the administration, and he says that he was, quote, baffled that the president would issue such a threat on something he saw as a security measure. Now, when you go to the news of the Senate, Mitch McConnell says he's going to get that up there, but they're probably not going to vote on it till after Thanksgiving. Yeah? So, first of all, this man is sick. This man is sick. He is disgusting. Senate leadership has to go. You have Paul Ryan in the House. You get a veto-proof bill against this nonsense, and then Jerkoff says, well, we're going to wait till after Thanksgiving. And you want to know what? Because he brought regular order back to the Senate, Harry Reid says, don't worry. It will never pass because it will never get debated with the 60 threshold. You got $5, folks? Donate it to anybody who will knock off Mitch McConnell. All right, 7 minutes. What do we got going on? Oh, by the way, if our stalker is listening to us, you crazy, crazy freak shows, you're going to love this story. Cartoonish trans character leads to call for Zoolander 2 boycott. That's right. That gigantic conservative Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller, the big Hollywood conservative. Zoolander 2 doesn't arrive in theaters until next year, but its recently released trailer is creating a bit of a stir. An online petition created by Sarah Rose is urging for a boycott of the Ben Stiller film because of a new character played by Sherlock star Benedict Cumberbatch, a supermodel named All. Rose writes, in Zoolander 2 trailer, an androgynous character played by Benedict, who the hell is Benedict Cumberbatch? Is asked by
He's big in the high school college girl set. They love him. He played in Sherlock Holmes.
Is asked by Zoolander and Hansel if he is a male or female model, and if they have a hot dog or a bun. Additionally, Cumberbatch's character is clearly portrayed as an over-the-top, cartoonish mockery. Okay. All right.
Okay, can I just say this? Earlier this week, we had Hillary
Clinton.
Wait,
let me finish the sentence. An over-the-top, cartoonish mockery of androgyny, trans, non-binary individuals. This is Zoolander 2 with Ben Stiller. Everything is supposed to be over the top. It's a comedy.
Well, and that's part of the problem. So Laugh Factory had some comedians poke some fun at Hillary Clinton, right? And Hillary Clinton wants their names and personal information. Okay? You now have, this is another article we were going to discuss, 40% of millennials being supportive of hate speech laws. Are you kidding me?
You know what? I am so sick. I am so sick of all of this nonsense. LBGT, FQ5, 6 train, okay? I really don't care. I'm just going to keep
There's like 12 of them.
Simple words. I am gay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. We're
supposed to completely change the way that comedy runs. I mean, we talked about this the last time Loftus was on the show. Can you imagine if the Jeffersons were on today?
No, the Jeffersons couldn't be on today.
I know. Neither could Sanford and Son.
Could not be on today.
Neither could
on
Soap.
Today. Wait, what?
Neither could Soap.
Wait.
With the first gay character that Billy Crystal played. It was a complete caricature.
No, I'm getting down to Sanford and Son now, baby. Shut up, you big dummy.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, can you think of the things?
Okay,
all in the
terrific.
Family, wildly popular, and really, when you stop and think about it, changing the culture because Archie Bunker became the caricature by the time that went off the air.
Do you think you could get away? First of all in the Family, Carol O'Connor, Archie Bunker, one of the best shows ever put on television. The funny thing about that show, he gets such a ragging for being a racist and which is what he was written on the show. But the show is really about progressive social progression and inclusion. I mean, and it's. But when you could you get away with, I will never forget, it's one of the first or second season, and Gloria brings home Meathead, and they're sitting there arguing, and Michael's talking to him about the Bible, and Archie turns around, he goes, let me tell you something, Meathead, tell me nothing about no Bible there. I know all about my Bible. And what do you know about the Bible? He goes, I know exactly how the Bible went. He goes, first, everybody was Jews. Then God sent down his son, and he said, we can't have no more of this here.
Oh, my God.
But you could not.
But that was on network television when I was a kid.
Oh my God! And the other best. Now that you got my mind going, you could never get the show. There's an All in the Family episode where Archie gets locked in the basement and everybody goes away for the weekend, right? So he's in the basement and he doesn't think he's getting out, and he finds a bottle of vodka and he sits down there and he drinks the whole bottle of vodka and he passes out and he's got no concept of time, and he's down there and he thinks he's dying. And he's on his knees. He's like, all right, Lord, come take me. And there's a guy knocking at the top of the stairs. He's like, Mr. Bunker, Mr. Bunker, Mr. Bunker. He's like, okay, Lord, I'm ready. He's like, Mr. Bunker, I'm coming. He's all right, Lord. And he turns around and the door bursts open. And it's a black guy who opened the door to come get him. And Archie Bunker thinks it's God. And he turns around and he sees the guy and he goes, oh, holy jeez, Jefferson was right.
But
okay, terrific.
When you think about what comedy like that accomplished, Archie Bunker became the caricature. People laughed at him because some of what he said was it was funny, but it was also ridiculous.
Absolutely, and the thing is,
and we're totally losing the ability to have discussion in our culture through our mediums of entertainment. I mean, if you think about the number of comedians, not just these folks at the Laugh Factory, who have been eviscerated on social media with boycotts, with this, that, and the other thing, because they're trying to be funny. And if we can't laugh at some of this, what are we going to do? You look at the timelines of people like Sally Cohn and Amanda Marcotte and some of these progressive leftists, they're just angry and depressed all the time, and nothing is ever funny.
Because they haven't had vitamin D since vitamin D had them. All right, moving on. We have a global warming update, though. From the Associated Press, people fired up snowblowers and dug out their shovels Saturday after the first significant snowstorm of the season dumped between a few and 20 inches of snow across the upper Midwest, blanketing a swath from South Dakota to Michigan. The storm created hazardous travel conditions that caused more than 500 flight cancellations. A blast of much colder air was following the storm. The National Weather Service said the snow, which first fell in South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa on Friday, would head northeast into Canada late Saturday after moving through Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. It was also snowing like hell out in Colorado. They were digging themselves out, and ISIS is on the march, killing people globally. I think they executed attacks in 3 or 4 different countries inside of about 72 hours. Our President John Kerry running around. The biggest threat we have to us is climate change. Less than a minute. Take us out. Take us out.
Bernie Sanders agrees.
Bernie Sanders is a oh, wait, who?
Bernie
Who agrees?
Sanders.
Who agrees?
Bernie Sanders.
I'm starting to get you. Shut up. Everything is I don't know. I can't find anything today. I hate this place. Nothing works here. Here it is.
Boom, boom, boom.
Could you think of a better place to leave our Sunday morning show, baby? We want to thank everybody for joining us on a very, very under the weather for JD Sunday. I want to thank Stacey for dealing with me. I want to thank Ricky Tiki Tavi, Rick Robinson, and that K98 Talk for having us here. Remember, kids, we're back live Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard for Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. I want to thank everybody in the chat room, the greatest, bestest, nakedest listening audio in the business. Lionel! Well, I always keep Lionel in my head. Wait, the piano? Oh.
You got the right one.
I did. Say whatever it is you say on Sunday, because I always tell you to say something you don't like.
Oh, well, today, kids, going to get ready for Big Turkey Day, pies and dressing, and woohoo, lots of shopping.
I will be watching some NFL football and keeping myself, well, I always am. Bar stools, alleyways, shady situations, the occasional donkey show, and being that Thanksgiving's coming up, JD might even go to church. If I live through it, I'll see everybody Tuesday night.
If it's Sunday, it's Bloody Marys and Broadsheets.
We're your cure from your weekly news hangover.
Thank you for taking it easy with us. You can find our show account on Twitter at JD and Stacey, or send us your interesting news story of the week to Game On War, that's WAAR, @gmail.com.
And you can find me on Twitter at Scottsfire and on Facebook at Stacey Lennox.
And you can find me on the Twitters at GameOnJD.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.